fucking problem is. Okay. Alright, we're good. That was 4 minutes of downtime. I'm really sorry for the delays. I'm just putting this into Telegram now so that you guys all know the issues are fixed. Thank you for standing by with me. I'm just going to give it a minute or two to make sure everything is okay, so please let me know in the comments if the audio is fine, if you can see me. Shout out to Phil and Phil in the comments. And also a shout out to who? To Jimmy Boy Mazzarti for doing his research last night and going long on Bitcoin, anticipating Bitcoin reaching $100,000, and now he's liquidated. So we've all been there, brother. Don't repeat the same mistakes again, and you'll be good, inshallah, as they say here in the Middle East. Okay, we're good. Good. Well, again, I'm sorry for the delays, guys, but thank you all for bearing with me. Let's smash up those likes and get ready for this one, because I've got another good one for you today. We've been doing good. We've been having fun on these live streams. I'm definitely having a good time, and yeah, Dubai infrastructure for Wi-Fi. Like I said it before, guys. There's no competition here. This is there's only two main companies, Etisalat and Du, and when you don't have competition, the product ends up shit. So unfortunately, I am suffering that consequence right here. FORFLIES, hey, shout out to the British Canadians. Shout out to any British Canadian, any British people across the world. I'm feeling patriotic for a couple minutes today. All right, Bitcoin. Let's take a look at what's going on Bitcoin. So here's the deal. I mentioned yesterday that I was leaning more back into neutral territory, and I'm still there. I'm still, broadly speaking, neutral, leaning towards bearish, as I was yesterday. How's it going, Hefner? I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, Mark. I like that nickname. And so what we had was Bitcoin ending up dipping down slightly below 30k. We moved up, and now we've ended up trading sideways. Now, what we were doing yesterday, as I mentioned, this could turn into a new leg that takes us higher. However, Bitcoin didn't do that. We didn't end up trading higher into these resistance areas. We've just been trading sideways. And so to me, this is either a bear flag or a bull flag. And the way you determine which one it is essentially look at what the trend is within which it formed. So I'll say that again to make it simple, especially because I know there are foreign viewers and my English is not very good sometimes, where we form certain patterns like this over here. Let's use a naked chart so I can draw for you. And Sammy today, please more Bitcoin, Ethan, less politics. Yes, less politics. I'm not the person to listen to for politics, but you know how it is, man. Everyone has an opinion and they want to share it. I promised you last time in the last video, I won't go into that stuff again. It wasn't even that bad, to be honest, but yes, obviously you guys are not here for that. What we have over here is a bull flag or a bear flag, and the way you determine which one it is just look at what is the trend within which we formed this pattern. And obviously the trend since $42,000 has been a small, yeah, politics is fun at the end. I agree with you. You know, we talk about bullshit in the end, but since $42,000 we've been in a mini downtrend, and so to see that we're trading sideways, like anytime we do anything like trading sideways here, I would have called this a bear flag, although obviously it was a bull flag. Here this was easily a rising wedge, another rising wedge, another rising wedge, a very small rising wedge, and now potentially a bigger one, or just a bear flag, because we are forming this sideways trading inside of a bearish trend. And so I will default to calling this a bearish pattern. And actually, the thing that my analyst highlighted today, which I actually didn't even realize, is we're testing this $32,000 level quite a few times. What did he say? It's going to be tested for the third time. Bitcoin trading within this range, trading at this 32k level for the third time. Look, number one over here, number two over here, number three right now. We're testing the same levels a lot. And the thing that's concerning about this, in my opinion, is that we didn't really establish much support on the way up. We didn't really establish much resistance on the way up. And if we don't establish resistance on the way up, we're probably not going to have amazing support on the way down. And the thing is, we have had decent support so far. So, you know, it's like You know, we go back to this terrible analogy of the camels because you guys know why we're here. Oh, camels, right? That's interesting. I said the camel analogy because I'm in the Middle East. Okay, that connection works now. Where I was talking to you about how we have a weak camel that has been raised in weakness all its life, and it was weak as a kid, and so it doesn't take many straws to break its back. And the deal is, we've tested this camel's support levels quite a few times now. Look, 4 times we've tested this. Actually, the 4th time it broke, by the way, but it was a fake out. And this is all to say that this isn't a strong camel to begin with, but we keep on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And it's, you know, another analogy is you've got a weak shelf, and it's stuck to a wall. You know, it's screwed into a wall, but it's a weak shelf. It doesn't have much structural support, and you just keep on putting heavier and heavier and heavier loads on it. Eventually, it's going to break, and it will probably collapse. And that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin right now, ladies and gents, because we did not establish good support, good resistance on the way up, which means that we can't reasonably expect good support on the way down. And we've already tested it a lot, which is telling me that if we are going to get a major breakdown, if it is going to get bad, I think it could get bad pretty quickly. And that to me is concerning. We're actually already dipping into these levels as I speak, but obviously it's too early to say what's going to happen. But if this level does break, then we are looking at falling down to that psychological support around the $30,000 level, and it's even worse over here in my opinion, because we really didn't establish anything. This is the only resistance Bitcoin ever found at $30,000, and after that it was 1, 2, 3, 4 instances of bouncing off this level in relative terms. And so we absolutely, I think, are in dangerous territory with the trend right now. Shout out to Phil. Like and subscribe for more daily videos. Thank you very much. Phil, I have a problem right now because I told you I'd make you a moderator, but I can't at the moment. I don't know why. I think my my computer is glitching a little bit, but let me see if I can do it on my phone. But yeah, this is concerning to me, because if we do fail this support level at 32, then, you know, the only level that I see us going down to is 30k, and 30k is just as bad in that, you know, we didn't really have a chance to establish much support over here, which means that we could absolutely you know, just kind of plummet right through this level. And if we plummet through 32k, you know, the thing we need to keep in mind is we're in a market situation right now. By the way, Phil, you are now an admin. Congratulations. You're the first ever admin we've ever made on this channel. So thank you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you to everybody for all your support. But we've been talking to Phil in Telegram and things like that. He's a great guy. And so, you know, the thing is, we are in a stage right now where panic can return to the market very quickly. We saw what that looks like a little bit over here, where I've already demonstrated this to you, but I'm going to do it again just to hit this point hard. We ended up rallying up from this low to our high in 3 days, 3.5 days. We went up 40%. And to erase most of that move up, it took us only 1.5 days, right, to drop down by 25%, nearly erase the entire move. There you go, Phil. Now you show up as a moderator. Very, very cool. Congratulations. I'm so happy. And so we erased most of this uptrend really quickly. And this is a demonstration of, look, we rise quickly. Of course, there's a lot of hype in the market, and the hype can return very quickly. But we panic a lot faster than that. And so we've seen what that looks like. And, you know, I want to highlight this to you so that we can keep in mind that actually this can happen at any time. You know, it's entirely possible for this level of panic to return to the market at any point. And we can see some really clear examples of that. Look at this big market crash we had with coronavirus. This was very much an anomaly. This wasn't really because Bitcoin was bad. The whole markets across the entire world crashed. But we have a lot of instances of very, very big, quick panic sells in the market, and they can happen at any point, right? So we have a lot of examples of this, and this is me telling you that we absolutely could be on the brink of another one right now, because we keep on testing what I am calling a weak support level. It might not be weak in your books, but in my opinion, it is a weak support level. We keep on testing it, and the thing is, we don't really have a lot of support until we start dropping down to other levels like 27,700, which is, sorry, this is 30k, 27,700, which is over here, or 24,000, which is over here, or ideally, again, this is the absolutely most beautiful spot that Bitcoin could find support, this $20,000 level. I don't think it's going to happen, but if we go down there, you guys know I will be very, very excited. This would be extremely, extremely exciting to me, so I absolutely love it. And so if we do end up doing that, that would be very, very fun, but in all honesty, obviously, I don't know how likely that is to happen. But right here, Bitcoin is potentially looking like it could end up dipping by quite a bit, and right now, the thing is, it does look like it's essentially forming some sort of a sideways trading pattern after being already inside of a downtrend, and that does, again, indicate to me with a lot of different points the fact that we got rejected at resistance already, and we didn't even meet the real resistance. As I said in the last live stream, the real resistance in my opinion is at this green box, and we didn't even get to the green box, right? We just got rejected at this horizontal line that I drew, so this is not very good in my opinion. We didn't even reach the real resistance, we got rejected. Now it looks like we're forming a bear flag. We don't have good volume to support this move upwards, so it looks like it happened on low volume, which is absolutely typical of the market breaking down again. And the reason this is typical is if we don't get much volume on this move up, by the way, Coinbase does show us more volume, but it's still nothing hugely, it's still nothing, you know, super substantial. Let me actually make this easier to see, because right now it's not easy to read what the volume is telling us. How do I edit this? I can't edit this, that's annoying. But what we have with the volume, when we're not seeing substantial volume on these kind of uptrends, is essentially it means that there wasn't actually a lot of people buying at this level. Let's see if I can edit the volume now, because I do want to make this visible for you, especially you guys watching on mobile and things like that. Obviously it's not going to be easy to see what I'm talking about, but this should hopefully make it easier for you. And if we just look at the volume here, the thing is, it did peak very nicely, but it didn't even reach the red volume that we had. So red volume in this market has been higher. That means more sell volume than buy volume, and this was only on the first candle. After that, volume dropped very, very low, and we haven't seen any substantial follow through on the volume. And you know, that's a very strong indication in my opinion of the market essentially not really caring about this pump. This is to say that the market is indifferent to this pump. You know, the market tried to impress us. The flamingo tried to spread its wings and impress the potential mate, but it didn't work, and the market is indifferent to that. And so that is a sign of Bitcoin potentially not really being very receptive to small bullish pieces of price action. And if we're not receptive to bullish things, that means we might be more receptive to bearish things. It means we're either going to trade sideways or we're going to dump, and I see this as potentially dumping. Now, there is one important thing that I want to make you aware of, which is that we were forming a very, very similar pattern a week or so ago, which was right over here. We were forming a very, very similar pattern over here. So let me, oh God, what have I done? Let me show that to you on the Bitfinex chart. And really what I want to do is I just want to replay the chart, and it's going to look very similar to what we're in right now. This was actually more of a diamond reversal, and it looks something, it's not easy to draw, but it looks something a little bit like this, where you form essentially a diamond shape, something a little bit like this. And essentially all this is telling us is that the market is ranging a lot, and it's trying to figure out where it wants to go. This is what a diamond is showing us, right? When the market trades in a diamond shape, it means that it's trading all over the place. It's trying to figure out where it wants to go, which is a sign of a reversal. The reason it's a sign of a reversal is because if the market is ranging around and pushing each level, pushing each high, pushing each low, doing it over and over, that means it's got some indecision about where it wants to go. And if it has indecision within a certain trend, which in this case is a downtrend, then that is an indication that the market is going to reverse. It's essentially showing us that the bulk of the move has happened now. Now the market is questioning what to do next, and it shouldn't be questioning what to do next if we're still in a downtrend. Very, very important thing to take note of. If you don't understand that, no problem. This is quite advanced, and honestly, it's not even super reliable, so I don't talk about it too much, but it did work out in this case. But broadly speaking, we have something very similar. We had something very similar in the middle of January to what we have right now towards the end of January, which is where we were trading in a very short-term downtrend. Look, we had small rising wedges, so we knew that we were in a downtrend. Each of these broke down for Bitcoin, so it was very clear that we were in a downtrend. And then we formed quite a large sort of continuation pattern, which looks very much like a bear flag, although now we know that it was a diamond reversal pattern. And Phil, once again, turn that like button blue. Thank you very much, guys. Let's shoot up those likes. 1,000 of you in this live stream today. How are we all doing today? Drop your questions in the comments as well if you want me to go through them. But we were forming a bear flag right here, but we broke above from this bear flag. So in a bullish market, in a market which has wings to trade a lot higher, this actually doesn't come as a massive surprise. So this is something to keep in mind. It's not like with every bear flag we are going to break down, and right now Bitcoin is in a situation where it does do unpredictable things, and that means that with this current bear flag right now, there is still some potential, I think, that Bitcoin could just absolutely rocket up, and that is where it comes down to your own interpretation. This is where it's much more subjective. I think with my own subjective opinion, with my own bias in this market, and as you guys know, people who are new to the market, you'll probably think bias is a bad word, but bias is important. If you're not biased in the market, you will never trade, which means you'll always sit on the sidelines and you'll never make money. So you will protect yourself from losing money, but there's the opportunity cost. Now you're not making money either. So bias is important. And with my biased opinion, I do think that this is actually a bear flag, because when you consider all the other things, like the fact that Bitcoin is in a big downtrend, the fact that Bitcoin has kept turning old areas of support into new areas of resistance. We've done this a lot, and I demonstrated it to you in either the last live stream or the one before that one. So if you weren't subscribed to the channel and you're just watching this for the first time, you would have missed that. By the way, we're about to reach 64,000 subscribers, so I'm really excited for that. Are we there yet? We're so close. We're like 10 away, so we're gonna hit it during this live stream, which is amazing. So thank you all for that. Yeah, we're 9 away, so very cool. And so if you were a subscriber to the channel, you would have seen exactly what I'm talking about with regards to Bitcoin, showing a lot of bearish signs in this market. We have momentum switching against us. We've already been rejected by momentum on this chart. Look at this, the 4-hour EMA ribbon, very clearly rejecting Bitcoin once, and now twice. So very clear rejections from our momentum. And this is important to me, guys, because momentum previously on the 4-hour chart, when we had a spread, so not at times like this is where this indicator is not very useful. When you can't individually see each line, look, you can individually see each line over here, right? It's very clear there is some separation. When you can't see that separation, this indicator is useless. But when you can, look at how reliable it is for predicting where Bitcoin is going to bounce. It is so reliable. It succeeds much more than it fails. Look at this, man. This is beautiful. Look at this. We don't have much of a spread here, but we do start developing a spread here. And look at how reliable this indicator is at predicting where Bitcoin is going to bounce. I actually calculated this for you guys. I think it was with this particular example, and this indicator was successful 17 times until it failed. That is fucking amazing. Try and calculate that. It's like nearly a 91% success. It was something huge. It was a very big success rate for this indicator. It was absolutely amazing. And so this is something I like to keep an eye on, because if it's so useful as support, then it's probably also going to be very useful as resistance, and it is right now. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you didn't actually see the content that I covered on the EMA ribbon, then obviously it would be because you haven't subscribed already, but do check it out by typing this into YouTube. So go ahead right now, pause this live stream, type this into YouTube. This is a video that I made as part of my FORFLIES Academy course. So it's a very high ticket course. It's designed from the ground up to give you guys the best possible entry into the crypto market, and it's by far the best content you can get into if you're seriously interested in learning about crypto and things like that. And what this course allows you, what this video allows you to do is gain some insight onto what this indicator means, how to access it, how I use it, best practices, things like that. So we just hit 64. Awesome, really cool. Let me give that a check. We just hit 64,000 subscribers. Guys, your support has been amazing. This is why we're doing live streams every day. I remember this trend. It's actually, we didn't hit, now people will start unsubscribing. This happens all the time when YouTubers hit big milestones. It's annoying as fuck, but people love to unsubscribe as trolls. Anyway, we do have this EMA ribbon here, and it is, because it was so reliable as support, I fully expect it to be very reliable as resistance as well. And it's already been useful in this market. So I'm really happy with that. If we look at this this trend with the Ichimoku cloud, we've also developed now a pretty decent area of resistance, where if Bitcoin does end up pushing into this area just into the next 2 days, which is the early days of next week, we are looking at potentially hitting some resistance over here. And so we have seen now the short-term trend has turned bearish with momentum, with the Ichimoku cloud. it's not looking too amazing. We've already been getting strong rejections out of this Ichimoku cloud on just the 1 hour time frame as well. The 1 hour time frame is not the most reliable time frame for this indicator, yet we have still gotten rejected from it. And so this is something as well that I have to take very close note of. And we are seeing those signs right now where we are potentially in a pattern that could end up breaking down. And then the thing I want to refer you back to once again, as I do in all of these live streams lately, as I have been doing, is these markets will seek to cause maximum pain, whether it's maximum pain on the upside where somebody is not in the market and they regret not getting in, or maximum pain to the downside where people will start to feel sick that their investment has gone down by, in this case now from the all-time high, down by about 23%, which is pretty sizable. It's not a big deal if you've been in the market for anything longer than a month. You're still in profit, so it's pretty good. But being down by 25%, 24%, that's enough to, by a lot of definitions, put you in a bear market, which obviously we know is bullshit, but it does put you in a technical bear market, depending on how you define a bear market. And so that's something important. And the thing with these markets, the way they cause maximum pain is not necessarily by just dumping down by massive amounts. We have done that, from high to low, we dumped down by like 30% already, which is pretty big, but it's not necessarily about dumping down by massive amounts. It's more so, first you dump down by massive amounts, and then you give the illusion of stability, and then you collapse again. So it's the three-part strike, where at first you have a big crash, this upsets a lot of people, then you give the people some reason to be hopeful, and that is the point where if you deal a second blow, that's where people really get very anxious, and you can start seeing a lot of panic. And actually the second wave is usually roughly as big as the first wave. Let's actually measure this really quickly. It's usually equal, and so if you measure this right here, so this second wave was actually a little bit shorter than the first wave that we had in terms of the dump, but still pretty similar in size. And this is to say that if we do get, this is the reason I kept on talking about a potential $10,000 dump. If we do get another $10,000 dump from here, that's going to put us squarely at the 20k range. The reason I don't think this is going to happen, the reason I hope it's going to happen, is obviously because I'm not from the Midlands. That's an insult, Abdul. I'm sorry, I'm from London. I'm sorry. I've offended so many people in Britain by acting insulted by when people try to guess where I'm from. But I'm from London. But what we have right here is Bitcoin potentially in a situation where if it makes a similar $10,000 dump to what it did the first time around, that would put us pretty squarely at the $20,000 range. It's just that I don't think that's going to happen, because the closer we get to this level, the more I think we will see very intense buying. Because broadly speaking, these dumps, we're getting dumps. This market is in a situation that can really scare a lot of people, but it's not actually weak in terms of entering a long-term bear market. In my opinion, at least, it's not. And I think almost all of you will probably agree with me right now that this market isn't going to crash and enter a long-term bear market, and we will set a new all-time high, potentially even next month. My analyst who works with me, he actually disagrees. He thinks that Bitcoin will reach the all-time high again in a couple of months, and that's absolutely fine. He's a more conservative trader than me, but I think, like most of you, that we will. Jay's from the Midlands. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. But I, like a lot of you guys, do think that we will end up surpassing the all-time high, maybe even next month. I think it can happen pretty quickly, and so I think a lot of the market believes in that too. And if we do end up hitting these levels and start inching our way down to $20,000, we will get really big buys, which don't allow us to hit $20,000. We've seen this before. This will not be the first time that the price doesn't go all the way down to very scary lows. Let me show you the last time we saw a very clear example of this. It was right over here where Bitcoin ended up falling down. This was the big crash when Bitcoin fell below $6,000. Shout out to you guys who were in the market at this point. Actually, shout out to you guys who were watching the channel at this point. If you guys remember, this was November 2018. I was making videos on this back then. We were making videos for a long time, and I actually predicted this dump. I traded it and made a 60% profit as well. And then I traded the move up and made a 360% profit. So I'm making profits on both ways, which is absolutely amazing. But what we had over here was Bitcoin ended up hitting this low at $3,100. So it didn't even come down to the big 3,000, which everybody expected would happen, this round number. No, we only hit 3,100, But then crucially, the next time we ended up trading down here, we couldn't hit 3,100 again because there were a lot of speculators that didn't want Bitcoin to go all the way down to 31. And so Bitcoin only bounced off the $3,300 level. And the only reason this would happen is because a lot of buyers were very eager to step into the market. And this is a big deal, my friends, because if a lot of people were very eager to step into the market to the point where they didn't let Bitcoin fall down to this low again, look, they didn't let them do it in a bear market, in a situation where actually this market was very scary and this market was looking unstable and it was very, you know, it was a scary time to be a trader, and we still couldn't get down to the first low we established. I think that's going to tell you something about what might happen if Bitcoin falls down to $20,000 in a bull market. Because this, if we fall down to $20,000 now, would just be a retracement in a lot of people's eyes. And so it wouldn't be a bad thing. You know, it'll be a bad thing in the eyes of the noobs, the people who don't really understand what's going on, the people who traded with too much money, the people like Jimmy at the beginning of this video who mentioned he got liquidated because he thought Bitcoin would go to $100,000 last night. Sorry to hear once again. I don't even want to make fun out of you because you were kind of, you were in good spirits about it, but you know, people like Jimmy will start panicking and they will be the ones that sell Bitcoin. But broadly speaking, the people who have experience as investors, as traders, they won't really have much of a hard time expecting Bitcoin to rise back up. And for that reason, I don't think we'll make a full retracement back to $20,000. But if our second leg is anything like the first one, it does mean we will dump by quite a bit, and we definitely have all of the pieces ready for a big move like that to be triggered. And like I said, the biggest one for me, in my opinion right now, is that Bitcoin just keeps on testing this $32,000 level. In fact, we've broken below it by a couple $100 already, but again, this is very, very small price action, so I'm not going to count it as much right now. But the point is, we've interacted with this level a lot of times, we've tested it a lot of times, and we've looked to find support on it a lot, but I don't think it's even a strong support level to begin with. And I really think that it's over-delivered so far. It's done more than it should have already. And that makes me think that it's very close to the point of collapsing. And if it does, like I said, we're looking at this support at 30K, but it's the same picture here. I don't think this was an important support level to begin with. We've already used it more than we should have. We've overused it. And I do think that that means a breakdown from these levels is imminent. And that could mean we're about to go much lower. So those are my thoughts on the market. I'm going to switch it over to Ethereum for a minute, and then I'm going to start going through your questions as well. But Ethereum here doing exactly what we expected on the channel yesterday. So if you were watching the channel yesterday, look at this, a beautiful, beautiful double W actually. What we had with Ethereum was we formed a quite classic, quite easy bull flag here. This is the distinction to make with Bitcoin right now, where Ethereum actually entered a very short-term uptrend. It's been in a short-term downtrend, and it entered an even shorter term uptrend here, where we formed a falling wedge, and then it traded higher again, and then we formed a bull flag right here. So I was very vocal about this in the last live stream, where I said that this was looking really good for Ethereum. I've been talking about Ethereum having more strength than Bitcoin for a very long time. Guys, this analysis has been absolutely spot on this YouTube channel for Ethereum. So if you watched this yesterday, you would know exactly what's going on. I'm very, very proud of this. If you didn't get a chance to see it, then definitely make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it next time. But what I was saying about Ethereum is that we ended up trading up, and then we went completely sideways within this area of support. And so it made a lot of sense what was happening with Bitcoin and with Ethereum, and I mentioned that could mean it's going to take another leg up to this level precisely, but I'll talk about that in a second. And the other big thing that Ethereum did, which I also spent a lot of time talking about, was that Ethereum came down to test this level as a new area of support. And that's really important because this diagonal line has actually been quite useful for Ethereum. We used it as support, we used it as support again, we used it as resistance very briefly, then we used it as support again, and then again, and then again, and then we used it as resistance a couple days ago. Only 2 days ago we used it as resistance, and yesterday we used it as support. So this line has been flipping as an area of support and resistance for a long time now, and most recently yesterday. And I mentioned that the combination of Ethereum trading in a bull flag and reconfirming an area of support, to me, made it look amazing, made it look really, really strong. And we can see what the natural follow through for Ethereum was over here, because it ended up pumping up by over $100, which is absolutely amazing. We ended up topping out right at the level that I outlined for you, $1,345, which is previously the high that we set earlier this month, just 14 days ago, exactly 2 weeks ago. We topped out at this level, and we topped out here again earlier today. So this looks very, very good. But the good news, ladies and gents, is that right now, just in this isolated bit of TA, Ethereum is in yet another bull flag. Exactly the same thing that we saw before. We're now trading up, confirming support, and you know, coming down, then potentially going to trade up again. And so I think it could only be a matter of time until Ethereum breaks out again and then takes its leg up. And this is all only at the whim of what happens to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin ends up continuing to trade sideways, I think that's going to give a lot of opportunity for Ethereum to pump up. But if Bitcoin does start crashing and it does start going low, then I do think that Ethereum will suffer as well, because as it usually happens, Ethereum will trade a lot worse than Bitcoin. Right now, Ethereum is strongly outperforming Bitcoin, which is really, really nice to see. This is what I've been predicting on the channel for months now, and it's happened beautifully. In fact, you can see how well we started to outperform Bitcoin in the break of the new year. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. In fact, it started back in September when I originally started talking about how Ethereum will probably outperform Bitcoin, and it has been doing that now for about 5 months, which is, no, that math is wrong, for about 4 months, which is very, very impressive. And you can see this very clearly now on the daily chart, Ethereum gaining a lot of strength against Bitcoin. So I'm really loving what I'm seeing right here. I also mentioned something very similar where Ethereum was trading in a bull flag. I don't know if I said it was this bull flag or this bull flag, but Ethereum, you know, very clearly for all intents and purposes on different charts showing us different information, still having a confluence of bullish indicators, which I really, really like seeing. And this is telling me that Ethereum could be ready to take another very nice leg up. From a technical perspective, I'm loving this. I was going to trade a short position here, but yet again, I decided that I didn't want to do that because the risk was too high. This is something that a lot of people new to the market don't really understand. They have trouble internalizing this, and I talk about it inside of VIP all the time, where a lot of people, go ahead and read this message, by the way, while I talk. A lot of people, in fact, this one's a little bit easier to read. A lot of people will get into the markets and they'll be very eager to trade. They will really, really rush into taking positions because they feel that, you know, trading is the way they'll make money, which is true. You know, you can't make money as a trader unless you trade. But the big caveat here, and the thing that a lot of people miss, is that if you take opportunities to trade where it's not actually completely safe to do so, you stand to lose money. And I always talk about this, I think, in every single live stream, but it's always worth repeating, where if you put yourself in positions where you stand to lose a lot of money and you stand to get screwed over and not make good gains. These are, by the way, these are screenshots of our VIP members. If you put yourself in those kind of positions and you actually mess up, you will suffer in 2 ways. In 2 ways you'll suffer. That was one. You'll suffer in 2 ways. Number one, you will have the financial loss, which is difficult to recover from, right? If you lose 50% of your money, you got to double it to break even, which is not easy. Number two, you will also throw off your psychology. And so if you start feeling like shit because you've lost money, because you were overzealous, you were too hasty, you rushed into taking trades that you didn't necessarily need to trade. If you made those mistakes, you will have less confidence in your abilities the next time you want to trade, which means you will miss out on potentially very good opportunities. And a lot of people don't weigh up what that cost really looks like. And that's because they just haven't got the experience yet, so they don't know. But if you are aware of these things, you will be able to avoid those kind of problems. And the key way I've been doing that in this market is, like I said, I wanted to take up short positions, but I told you that it was really, really risky, and I'm not desperate to trade. And my lack of desperation to enter trades in this market has saved me from losing a lot of money. This is the reason why, if you look at my track record, and, you know, VIP members will see this because they see all the trades I make in real time. I tell them absolutely everything I'm doing. I give them all the information about it. The steps to join are on screen. This is the reason why people who are in VIP will see that over the past couple of months, I've made a lot of very successful positions. I've made a lot of profitable positions and very few losses. I don't know what the statistic is right now, but it might be like out of the past 40 trades, only 5 of them were red, something like that, maybe 6. I don't know. I don't know I don't know the numbers, but it's something very small. It's between 10 and 20% failure rate, which is to say 80 to 90% success rate, which is very, very good. And the reason I've been able to achieve that is because I deliberately avoid anything that doesn't look 100% perfect to me. And as a trader, this is way more important than you might think at first. So this is something I like to talk about a lot, and VIP members can see how I'm trading. They can get all the information on exactly what I'm doing every single day inside of FORFLIES VIP. and you can join by following these steps on screen. Click on the first link in the description down below, and then that's going to take you to my free Telegram channel. By the way, we just passed 10,000 subscribers in that channel now. We're already at 10.2, so thank you very much. And then click on the @FORFLIES button at the bottom of any post in FORFLIES Gold, and then click on Send Message. This will take you into a direct chat with me on Telegram, and you can ask me for the details about VIP, and I'll send it over to you right away. Well, I won't at this point because I'm live streaming, but my assistant will. So we'll give you all that information, and you can see how I'm trading. We've like I said, we just passed 920, already at 925 VIP members. It's blowing up. We're so close to 1,000 VIP members, which is amazing. Once again, I've got to thank you guys for your support, for hitting that like button, for subscribing and showing me all this love, because that's exactly why I'm jumping on these live streams every single day. Really having a very, very good time doing this. And switching it back to the analysis for a minute, you know, with what we're seeing right now, I do still see some potential for Ethereum to end up inevitably dropping lower, whether we drop from here or we drop from here, or we set a new all-time high and then drop. I do think that's going to happen, just especially if Bitcoin ends up taking a bit of a dump. But right now we are holding. It's just that for me, I don't know how long Bitcoin is going to be able to hold on to these levels, considering that we've tested them so many times, and that usually is a sign that things could get pretty ugly. Guys, I'm ready to start going through your questions very soon, so if you do have any, please drop them in the comment section, and as usual, tag me @FORFLIES. I'm writing it in the comment section for you. Tag me like this, so that I can see your message and I know that it's a comment. If you don't do this, I'm very likely to miss your question. But I want to see if there's any other final things for me to cover. I want to talk to you about Cardano a little bit. Cardano has been moving very nicely. I mentioned in the last video that Cardano would probably break out, and it did. It broke out above its prior high. Not by much, although... Oh, it just hit the breakout point that I outlined. This is interesting. Yeah, literally, I said that if Cardano reached 1,125... which is 1,125 is here. I mentioned if Cardano rose above this pink line, I would be interested in its potential to rise up, and it did. It broke above it by 2 Satoshis, or 0.2% or 0.02%. So very, very small breakout above my breakout point, and now we're consolidating sideways in what I would only imagine to be a bull flag. Because here's the thing, if you see a coin in a trend like this where it's in a bit of a bull flag, it will alternate between having short-term bull flags and long-term bull flags. Some bull flags will complete very quickly, some will complete slowly. And I think that we could be in another quick one right now, just looking at this. I didn't look at Cardano earlier today, so this is the first time I'm analyzing it today, and it does definitely look like it's in a very short-term bull flag before it ends up continuing trading higher. This is interesting because right now the market is in a position where, broadly speaking, I would think that it's dangerous to trade right now, and I would think that the altcoins are looking bad. There are exceptions. Link doing pretty well. It did break the all-time high, and now it's falling down to support levels, exactly as I said could happen in the last live stream. It's now fallen down to its previous all-time high, where it is starting to find some support. Look at this big buy on Link over here, indicating that there is some nice potential for upward movement. And if this is happening, crucially, ladies and gents, then if we're seeing green in the market like this, and we are, look, I mean, Link's down a little bit, but Tron up by 2%, Cardano up by 2%, you know, bcash and Litecoin, I mean, they're not necessarily up, but they're fluctuating in the right direction. Ethereum, you know, up by 7-8%. If we're seeing these kind of moves, this is actually a sign that traders are not scared of being in the market right now. This is a sign that traders are not scared of Bitcoin crashing, and actually they're moving their money potentially a little bit out of Bitcoin, but only into the altcoin market, which is actually very, very bullish in my opinion, because it means that more people are speculating and less people are scared. And so this is one of those signs that makes me neutral. This is why I have a lot of reasons to be bearish on this market, but there are just 1 or 2 reasons that are making me think actually I might be wrong. And one of those reasons is the fact that there are a lot of speculators in the very high risk crypto markets. And if we have speculation in the high risk crypto markets, that is an indication that the overall market is very healthy. Guys, if you make a lot of money, that is the only time that you will be willing to take very big risks, right? You're not going to be willing to take risks unless you're super desperate, but that's a different conversation. Unless you're super, super desperate, broadly speaking, you as a trader, you as an investor, the average person will not be willing to take extra risk unless they've already made money, because that's when greed starts setting in. That's when you feel smart. That's when you feel like a genius. That's when you feel like everything you touch turns into gold. And right now, we are seeing what that looks like, where other people are now putting their money into riskier assets at the moment, as I speak right now, which is clearly, I think, in my opinion, a case, an example where these altcoins are starting to go up, showing a lot of investor confidence in the market right now. So I think that's very, very important. So I'm going to start going through your questions as well right now, but there are a few more things I want to talk about before and the bulk of my analysis. Once again, if we can shoot up those likes, by the way, 1,500 of us, thank you all for tuning in today. And we're very, very close to some subscribers. So we just passed 63 a few days ago, and I'm super, super keen on reaching the big 64 as well. So your support. Oh, we've just hit it. Amazing. Thank you all very much for that. Just going to start going through your questions now, but thank you all for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, we've got a connection issue by the looks of it. Please let me know if the connection is okay. Again, man, I'm going to fix this problem really soon. I have a solution. It's just going to take a few more days because there is some bureaucracy that needs to be dealt with. But I'm resolving these issues. There is the microphone issue. When I look in this direction, the microphone is very clear. When I look away, it's not very good. So I'm also fixing that. Again, a few more days and these issues will be out of the way. I've just set up the new UAE office in Dubai. The company has moved out of the UK. I've moved out of the UK quite a long time ago, actually. And these things have only just been set up. So I'm ready to go through your questions now, but once again, thank you all for the support. Thank you for getting us past 64,000 subscribers. I'm so excited for what's coming. Like I said in the last video, I have some really, really cool things planned in the future. Just quickly, Michael asking, does the audio go up? It's actually fairly loud already, if I'm not mistaken, but someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. You can turn it up on the YouTube player. Just check if your YouTube player is at max volume, and then also check if your device is at max volume as well. FORFLIES, looking at the 15-minute chart, is Bitcoin already touching 32K as resistance? Good question. I don't usually analyze such small time frames like the 15-minute time frames, but this is an interesting one to talk about, so let's take a look at it. I'm not going to look at 15, I'm actually going to look at the 5-minute chart. We dipped below 32K is right here. We dipped below 32K right here. Then we pumped above it. Then we went below. And so far we haven't gotten close to it. So I can't answer that because we haven't gone back up to 32K. It's not necessary that Bitcoin has to go up to 32K in order to get rejected by it. I mean, technically speaking, we do need to go up to it to get rejected by it, but on a more practical level, Bitcoin can fall down to 31,400, rise up to 31,700, which is $300 away from the main target, and get rejected. And I would still count this as reaching 32K. And the reason I would still count this as reaching 32K is because this is it's less than 1% away from the target. So if it's less than 1% away, I would just put that down to a minor discrepancy. And that to me means that, if we do end up rising by just a little bit more and then crashing downwards, I would definitely count that as a rejection from the 32K level. But we would need to go pretty low. We would need to go below 31,000 probably until I would count that as a clear rejection. ETH decoupled from Bitcoin? Yes, it did. Can I analyze the Bitcoin chart on the short term? That's literally the only thing I do on this channel, yeah. FORFLIES, what are your thoughts on VeChain? I haven't looked at VeChain for a long time. I don't really want to look at it, but I'm curious. Let's see what's been happening with VeChain. Clearly, it's completely illiquid. So not much trading is happening here. Yeah, I don't really... See, VeChain is it's one of those coins that could be a sleeping giant. It could massively pump up if hype returns to the market and we get a big alt season. Right now, like I said in the last video, I think we're already in an alt season, but if it gets better, yeah, this is one of the coins that could blow up. Any thoughts on Zebi? Never heard of it. All-time favorite Polkadot? No idea. FORFLIES, what about no idea about the SOPR index. Do you mean an S&P index? I don't know about SOPR. FORFLIES, please share how to take profits from an open position without closing it. Good question. I have talked about that in my tutorial about Bitmex and Bybit and probably Phemex. So go ahead and type this into YouTube. Pause the live stream, open a new tab, type this into YouTube, and I talk about how to close a position how to take profits on a position without closing it completely. But broadly speaking, it's where, let's say your position is worth $1,000. Let's say I'm long with $1,000. If I want to close 10% of that position, I will simply go short with $100. I will take 10%, I will calculate 10% of my position quantity, my position size, and I will do the opposite of what my position is. So if I've gone long, I will go short. If I've gone short, I will go long. That's like, it cancels out and it brings you to a neutral position, which would be 0. That's how you take profit, but it's described in my video. And by the way, if you guys are looking for a place to trade, I've linked below the 3 key exchanges I use. I use Phemex, I use Bybit, and I use PrimeXBT, and I've linked them all in the description. And if you search it up, like Phemex, for example, Phemex FORFLIES, if you once again pause this video, open a new tab, search this into YouTube, you will see my full tutorial on how to use the Phemex platform from A to Z, absolutely everything you need to know. Same for Bybit and same for PrimeXBT. And this is really important because if you only have one exchange right now, or if you don't have an exchange at all, then you are subject to your funds being hacked. You are subject to downtime and things like that. And you know, just having multiple exchange accounts, it can insulate you from those problems. Some exchanges have, all exchanges have benefits over others. There are disadvantages and advantages, and that's why I use a bunch of them. I have a bunch of accounts on each of these as well for OPSEC. So there's a lot of reason to have multiple accounts, and a big part of that is security or just protecting yourself from downtime. One day Bybit could be down, but Phemex will be up. And if you want to trade, but all of your money is on Bybit, you're out of luck. You can't. You have to wait. And so having multiple exchange accounts insulates you from that problem. And I have tutorials in each of these. And if you use the link in the description, you can also get bonuses like free money to trade with when you make your deposit. And US people, you will need VPNs to access these websites, but I can't endorse that. It's up to you if you want to do that. Every US guy I know uses a VPN and connects to these guys, but obviously it's up to the individual if you want to take that risk. FORFLIES, I think it's Ether's lead to turn to lead while Bitcoin reluctantly follows. Is this now the new trend? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. It absolutely makes a lot of sense. So that like I said, that's the one thing that's pulling me back to neutrality, where I'm not completely bearish on this market, because we do have good reasons to expect that Ethereum will completely lead the market. And so yeah, I think it's entirely possible. Ethereum has done that before, and I think it definitely can do that again. In fact, that's one of the key things I was talking about with Ethereum when it was trading around over here. I was saying that that would become very, very possible, and now we're starting to see it. So again, another example of a very bold prediction I made being absolutely spot on correct. Very, very cool. I was talking about how Ethereum would go from $400 up to $800, and then potentially even up to the all-time high for a very, very long time. I traded it a lot during these moves as well, made a lot of profits, also had some small losses, but overall very much on the green from my trades on Ethereum. And as usual, every single VIP member saw how I was trading Ethereum in real time. Here's an example of one of our members who went up by $114,000 since joining VIP. And he took our, and he started with only $6,000. So he has done nearly a 20 times gain on his account since joining VIP, which is extremely, extremely impressive. But the thing that's even better than that, in my opinion, and this is the thing that really, really excites me, and you know, if you're new to the game, maybe this isn't going to be so important to you, but to me, this is huge because I've failed a lot as a trader and I've seen a lot of other people fail. The thing that's really, really impressive to me is that this guy, he now trades in much healthier ways. He doesn't trade out of emotional greed anymore. He is happy with his wins. He, what else is he saying here? He said one other key thing that really stood out to me, but I've forgotten where it is. Oh, and he's not trading as frequently as well. So not trading as frequently, kicking greed away as well, making really, really big profits while he does it. This is a key example, like this guy over here again, making big money, right? Big gains. This guy made a 20 times return nearly 20 times return since he joined VIP. This guy over here already regained 25% of everything that he lost since he joined with a $6,000 profit. But this is a bad day for him, which I love. This is what a bad day looks like for this guy in VIP with a really, really big profit. But he's doing it by taking risk off the table early. He's exercising good risk management. He's keeping a tight stop loss. He's keeping his funds safe. And at the same time, he's still profiting big. This guy exercising really good trading habits, which you might think would limit your potential, You might think this would limit how much you can make because it would make you trade slower. But actually, these guys in VIP proving very much the opposite, where you can trade in safe, healthy ways and you can still make big gains, right? Look at this over here, plus 51% profit, mentioning that he's needed to hear certain things that I'm talking about inside of the VIP group and absolutely being just killing it, closing a not closing, I don't know if he closed this, but hitting a 5k profit in pounds. This is close to like $6,000-7,000 in USD, just absolutely killing it while he has COVID as well, but doing it safely, right? And we even exchanged some messages where he mentioned that I even changed his life, which was absolutely amazing. We do get quite a bit of a sentiment like that inside of the VIP group. Another member over here making a bunch of profitable trades in the last month, but right here with a triple digit profit, 110%. Very, very impressive. And yet again, so we can see a lot of examples here where people in VIP start trading in healthier ways, but they don't sacrifice the money for it. They're still making big gains. And the reason that's so exciting to me is because when you're still making big gains, but you're doing it in healthy ways, it means that you can keep doing it forever. And if you throw these numbers into a calculator, I always make the same point. If you throw any percentage gain into a calculator, let's use plus 17%, for example. If you multiply your starting balance by plus 17%, and you do that 5 times, you will start to see how a very modest gain, when you compound it and you learn how to do it consistently and safely, like these VIP members have done, a very modest gain can turn into something absolutely massive. And that's what really, really excites me, because these people have tapped into the secret, or whatever you want to call it, of how you can make these gains consistently and safely, which is always the main objective as a trader. So these guys doing it amazingly, and I show you how these people have been able to do it. I show you how I do it inside of the VIP group. You can see exactly what I'm doing. I give you all the explanations for why I'm doing what I'm doing inside of the group as well. There's a lot for you to get your hands onto. There's the entire VIP library as well. There's a bunch of things that I don't even talk about in this video that you get access to as a VIP member. And you can gain access to all the information about what that looks like by following these steps on screen right now, with the lowest prices that we've ever offered as well. Let's see what else we've got in the comments today. But yeah, good comment. I do agree with you overall. I do think that Ethereum will start to lead and Bitcoin will reluctantly follow. Well, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Oh, we've got an interesting one here. FORFLIES, hey man, need your help. I got 125x. I don't even want to read this. I'm going to read it anyway. I got 125x short on Bitcoin and 100x short on Ethereum. I'm thinking of holding the Bitcoin position, but doubting about ETH. What is your advice? FORFLIES, if you take out the Ema Ribbon on the daily, we still are in the bullish zone. We perfectly bounced to 28.8k. Check it out. Nice question, Twink Stance. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, I'm sorry, by the way. I'm not even doing that last question. That's... Good luck, brother. I wish you the best, and I'm so happy that it's working for you right now and that you're on a profit. But fuck me. Okay, here's something more reasonable. This daily EMA ribbon. So this is the same thing I was talking about earlier on in the live stream. And once again, if you don't know what this is, then pause the video and watch my YouTube video on this one. Type this into the YouTube search bar and watch how I explain this. But the daily EMA ribbon here, very, very accurate. And what we've seen recently is we dumped all the way down to the bottom EMA ribbon line right here. Look at this, we dumped all the way down to the bottom. And then we started to make a recovery up. So yeah, absolutely, we are doing very well on the daily. But what this means is that we've tested the lowest level of support on the daily time frame, and we've started to get a bounce. But we're not out of this area yet. So we're still trading in this area, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a little bit dangerous. So, you know, the thing that's concerning to me, and it's the same thing that I said earlier on in the live stream, is that I think we're spending too much time testing these support areas. I think that we are feathering these support areas too much, and I don't think that these support areas have the strength to keep Bitcoin up over here. And so what's very good, Twink Stance, is that we have spent a lot of time at this, we have bounced off this support line very well, and we're making good use of the momentum, and we have a very good track record for quite a few months of this being a useful indicator as well. And so the good news is that we are making good use out of this support. But the bad news, in my opinion, is that we're spending too much time here. And so the more time we spend at these kind of levels, the more times we penetrate these levels or try to penetrate them, the weaker they tend to get. Like somebody who is trying to smash a statue with a pickaxe, each time the cracks will get bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually it cracks. And that's exactly what I'm concerned about with this right now. We're not out of it yet. We've been in it for 4 days, and I don't know if we're showing the right levels of strength to pump out of it. Right now I don't have a position, so my only position is being in Bitcoin. Obviously, if Bitcoin goes up from here, I stand to profit a lot, and that's why I'm not trading this. I don't think it's safe to trade at the moment. But despite me not having a position, I do still have an opinion, and I do think that that even though we did bounce off the bottom of this area, we're not out of the ribbon yet, which means we're not out of the dust. We're not in the clear yet. And that to me is a little bit concerning. So good point, something interesting to check out. However, I can't share your enthusiasm about this at the moment. Let's see what else we have in the comment section today. Okay, so a couple of people think he was joking. Yeah, he might have been joking actually. I don't even consider that. Shout out to Phil. Phil saying, FORFLIES, highly recommend joining VIP. It's great. Thank you very much. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you very much again. For those of you just tuning in now, Phil in the comment section became our first ever moderator on this channel. We don't need a moderator too much. A lot of the spammy comments get caught out in the filters, but sometimes they do attack. What do I think the bottom of ETH is? I don't think it's hugely relevant to talk about that at the moment, but I think that possible bottom zones for Ethereum right now look like, well, I don't even know what bottoms are. It could be here, it could be here. Probably 700 makes the most sense as a bottom, but possible support zones, I see it as this green box extended, this diagonal line extended, this area as a potential bounce zone as well. Those are some key levels I'm looking at for Ethereum. Yeah, so we do, by the way, Phil, we get some comments like FBC14. These guys are bots, if anyone says FBC14, so I'm going to ban him right now. You will start to learn who the bots are. They're very easy to spot if you just read the comments and you're attentive. You give you like 2 days and you'll know who the bots are. FORFLIES, with Link and Dot ripping, would you agree it is likely Ethereum is next? Ethereum is already pumping, so yeah. Yeah. FORFLIES, I'm a long-term investor in Zebi token. I have no idea what it is, bro. I can't comment on that. Let's see what else we've got in the comment section today. FORFLIES still better than most, even with these issues. Don't stress it. Appreciate you taking the time to do the live streams. Well, thank you very much, Ben. I'm very glad that you are enjoying it. It's awesome. Your support, guys, on this channel has been very, very nice, and I thank you so much for it. That's why I keep on doing these live streams. FORFLIES, what about Bitcoin touching weekly 21 EMA? What would be the possibility and next move? Good question. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the long-term time frame. I have to preface this by saying, guys, that I'm not a long-term analyst of Bitcoin, so I don't actually I'm sorry, I don't actually look at the long-term chart much, and I'm not the best analyst. Like, my analysis on the short-term time frames is pretty strong, and that's why I talk about it all the time. On the long-term time frames, my analysis is not very strong, and you need to be aware of that. There are better people to listen to than me for this long-term analysis. But anyway, I want to see if I have anything to say about this. And I remember our viewer over here today asking about this yellow line. This is the 21-day, 21-week exponential moving average ribbon. And within, oh wow, this is nice. This is good, good, good. So within 2017, 2016, when we started our exponential bull run, similar to what we're in right now, every time Bitcoin fell down to this line, it bounced massively. Look at this. This is huge and very, very consistent. Let me just count this really quick. How often did this succeed? Let me do this live. I'm going to count this as a hit. That's one. I'm going to be rough with it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nearly 10. I'm going to call it 10. No, let's call it 9. That's 9 successful hits off this line until it fails the 10th time. That's a 90% success rate. Then in a bear market, how useful is it? 1 rejection, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. 4 out of 5. That's an 80% success rate. And then not very useful at all. But now it's back into the territory of being useful. So this is showing us right now, this EMA, if we look at this, this is so hard to show you. Just look above my cursor right now. I can't even show this yellow number is showing us the current value of the EMA, which is $21,850. Which is to say that if we fall down to 21,800, this is where we can find some support. I think that makes some sense. I think that makes sense. So thank you to Sammy Singer for asking me to take a look at this. I think this is a huge indicator. And the reason I'm really excited about it is that it's worked really, really well during 2017's exponential bull run. And that's exciting to me because 2020's bull run and 2021, it's very similar in a lot of ways to 2017. It's actually, I think, a little bit more aggressive, but a lot of its characteristics are similar, down to, in fact, the exact same way that we broke out above the all-time high. We broke out in the same way. And once again, if you were watching the channel regularly back when Bitcoin broke above $20,000, you'll know what my analysis was saying, and it was extremely accurate predicting the breakout for Bitcoin. So, you know, if we followed 2017, if we followed the footsteps of 2017, that would make me think that tools which were previously useful in 2017 will probably be useful again. And this EMA line was very, very useful. It was useful as support, it was useful as resistance, and in fact, it was also useful as resistance throughout 2014 into 2015. So this line has a lot of history for Bitcoin, and I definitely think, thank you very much once again, Sammy, that this can turn into a very nice support area for Bitcoin if we do end up falling down to it. This is huge. This is a gem, and I will keep an eye on that. Thank you. I didn't even see this. Sean Jones, what are your thoughts on Dash? No thoughts really. I like the fact that it's a privacy coin, but no thoughts other than that. Rodrigo, thoughts on Link? So I looked at Link earlier in this live stream, but I want to look at it again because actually I'm pretty happy with Link right now. I haven't traded it because it's very dangerous, and I've shown you why. And I still think that it's very dangerous. But what I mentioned in the last live stream is I think Link will reach a new all-time high, and it did. It reached $25, which was pretty easy to predict, to be honest. And I think that from that point, you know, starting to get a little bit of a downtrend, but a slow one. I don't think this is going to turn into a waterfall sell-off like that. I think that at worst, it might just continue trading downwards slowly and then pump. I don't think that it's going to all of a sudden dump through the floor unless Bitcoin does. That could be very bad, and obviously it looks like Bitcoin might, which is where I think the risk comes from. But broadly speaking, it's finding some support off a previous all-time high, which is always a really, really good thing in my opinion. So I'm very, very happy with how it's looking at the moment. I like what Link is doing, and I think it has the potential to rise up pretty well. FORFLIES, I am new in crypto investing, and I would want to know when is a good time to do a transfer from altcoins, Ethereum, into Bitcoin to make a profit. For which aspects I need to pay attention. That's a really big question, man. And it's actually a multi-part question. In order to give you a good answer, I would need to explain quite a few key concepts, and I don't think we have the time for that today. So if you are interested in going a little bit deeper, this is something that I talk about inside of VIP, and more specifically the courses that we offer inside of VIP. And you can ask me for information about them by following these steps on screen. I will answer your question at some point, but not today. It's quite a long answer because I would have to explain so many key beginner concepts in order to explain to answer your question. Because essentially you would be looking for a lot of different things to confirm that moving from an altcoin into Bitcoin is a good idea. And it's about knowing what to look for. That was probably really loud for the microphone, so sorry for that. Guys, I'm going to start ignoring questions that ask me to repeat what I already said, because this would be annoying for people who've been watching since the beginning of the live stream. Sell to stoners at 42,000 next time around. Nice comment. FORFLIES, what's your take on the alternative scenarios for an alt season based on how your Bitcoin outlook? I don't understand your question. FORFLIES, is that not a cup and handle for Ethereum Bitcoin on the monthly? Yes, it was. and I do think that means it might explode. Let's see what else we've got in the comments today. Do I think big whales who buys a lot of Bitcoin can regulate a price in some sort of way? Yes, absolutely. Yes, they can. Can I check out bcash? Not today, brother. I don't like bcash. I was pissed off from bcash from yesterday. Whoa. FORFLIES, upcoming tax proposal for crypto in Norway is set to 80% taxation on crypto profits. My god. The world is going crazy. Crazier. Dubai next, I guess. Yeah, Dubai isn't going to tax you on shit. Let's see what other questions we have in the comments today. I'm going to go back to some of my core analysis in just a second. If you guys are enjoying this live stream, if you've learned anything at all, please do like the video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Marshall, you're asking me to do a Fibonacci retracement from 20k to 42k, but there is no Fibonacci retracement from there. Let me take a look. Maybe I'm wrong. You can't really do a Fibonacci retracement from there because we didn't really drop. But let me try anyway. Maybe there's something interesting you want me to look at. Yeah, I mean there's some confluence here. Definitely the 618 level looking like the best, but I don't think that there is good reason to. I don't know. I don't see something huge with this particular sign. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin losing ground on ETH? ETH close to all-time high. BTC ETH. It's not close to the all-time high, but I think it could get there 100%. FORFLIES, as Bitcoin dominance is rapidly decreasing, do you think a dump to 2600 will cause a major crash on the altcoins? Santiago, a dump to 2600 would be more than a 90% correction right now. So I'm guessing you mean 26,000. And my answer to your question is yes. I think that will, if Bitcoin goes down to 26,000, I think that will crash the entire market a lot. Captain Silver says Ethereum is going to 50,000 today. All right. FORFLIES, thank you for being realistic and not dramatic. Well, thank you as well. Yeah, that's what this channel is all about. And the reason this analysis is so realistic and so grounded is because I'm a real trader. I'm not an investor. I don't care about the investment side. I need to be grounded and realistic. Otherwise, I would have lost all my money by now. And I did lose all my money many times when I wasn't grounded and realistic. So very, very important for me to be like that. Thank you. FORFLIES, when Bitcoin dumps, Ethereum also dumps. What do you think about making a long on Ethereum instead of Bitcoin? Bitcoin reaches low levels. Yeah, that's something I like the idea of, and I've been doing a lot of that in this market over the past few months because Ethereum usually does rally harder than Bitcoin, and well, it doesn't usually at the moment, but it might start to. I mean, the trend is definitely moving in that direction. And for that reason, I do think that it's a good idea to go long on Ethereum instead of Bitcoin. And that's mainly what I'm interested in doing as well. FORFLIES, when you are not in a position and waiting and watching, are you holding cash, Bitcoin, Tether, or something else? Bitcoin. FORFLIES, is it safe to enter ETH now for short term? No idea, brother. I can't answer that for you. FORFLIES, what does FORFLIES mean? It's a stupid name I made when I was like 15 or 14. FORFLIES, how is your HODL portfolio in percentage? Not going to answer that one. Not relevant. FORFLIES, can you check the 1 hour chart with Bitcoin? Is that rising wedge broken? 1 hour chart, rising wedge. Yes, it is. Yeah, it was a rising wedge, something a little bit like this, broke down, but we just traded sideways, and that's why I think that instead of a rising wedge, because we just traded sideways, I think this makes it a bear flag. Which is the same thing. What is your opinion on the problems Tether is having with the authorities? Oh man, how long has Tether been having problems with the authorities? Was it like 4 years now? 5 years? 2016, right? That's when the FUD started. It's been like 5 years since people were talking about this. That's my thoughts on Tether. It's like saying that, you know, like worrying about Tether is exactly the same in my opinion as worrying about a politician solving your problems. It's just like, Yeah, like it probably there probably is something there, but like how long are you gonna talk about the same thing until something actually happens? You know what I mean? I see your questions about VIP, by the way, and my assistant is responding to you all right now. So if you want to get some information on VIP, find out what our new prices and things like that are, then you can reach out by following the steps on screen right now. My assistant is responding to every single one of you right now. Hi, FORFLIES. Do you look at the DXY charts as well to get a better feel for Bitcoin? Steve, yeah, it's one of the main things I look at. And actually, I have to credit Tone Vase because it's because of his analysis that I started looking at this, and he's one of my favorite analysts. Right now, the dollar on a slight upswing, very small upswing, but this is enough to upset the stability in markets like Bitcoin, which I think is why we've seen a small, very small dip on Bitcoin today. And I think for that reason, yeah, that's why we're seeing some red with Bitcoin. But broadly speaking, as I've been saying for a long time, I think that the dollar is in a pretty bad trend. We were predicting that a lot on this channel. Look at this. I showed you this wedge, how we broke it, and we established resistance over here. This analysis was on point. It was 100% correct. Very, very impressive. We ended up dipping down very low. And actually, if we overlay what Bitcoin did, is there a different dollar index I can use? No, I don't need a different one. Let me just hide all these lines. And if I overlay the Bitcoin chart on top of this, you will see very quickly that when the dollar started dropping, look at this. The dollar hit its high at 94 on the index. This is when Bitcoin really started going parabolic. And Bitcoin started going crazy. Actually, not so much because the dollar was crashing, although the dollar was still crashing. Bitcoin mainly started going crazy, in my opinion, because of the hype that it generated. And so what we have right here is the dollar was losing strength, and that is originally what made everything else gain value, right? When the dollar gets weaker, everything else that you would measure against the dollar would go up in price. That's called inflation, which is to say that if the dollar from 95 to 90 on this relative index went down by 5%, the price of Bitcoin would go up by 5%, relative to the dollar. And what that means is you'll get a small increase on price on assets like Bitcoin, but when it already has good fundamentals and it already has a reason to pump like it did, then this will just add more fuel to the fire, and Bitcoin will use that, and with more fuel to the fire comes more fuel, and more fuel and more fuel, and it's just an exponential crazy storm of speculation and excitement in the market. And that's what leads to parabolic markets like what we're in right now. And I definitely think that in light of that, the dollar will probably keep crashing. And actually, I see a bear flag on the dollar right now. And crucially, we already formed a bear flag on the dollar. So let me remove some of these drawings so I can show this to you pretty clearly. I'm also going to remove this circle because it's enough of me bragging about it, although I love bragging, but later. We formed a bear flag over here, a bearish pennant. We formed a rising wedge over here. A lot of continuation patterns that are bearish. Look at this. This one's more of a wedge, where we established a downtrend over here, or actually higher than this. It was maybe even a year ago or so. We broke down. We formed a continuation pattern, broke down, continuation pattern, broke down, continuation pattern, broke down, continuation pattern. What's going to happen next? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do know what the trend is, and the trend is pretty bad. So I definitely think the dollar could keep on dropping. The Biden administration is in, and it doesn't matter what your political opinions are, but it's not like the Trump capitalistic administration did good things for the dollar. So I don't think that the Biden liberal or whatever it is government is also going to be amazing for the dollar either. And for that reason, I'm pretty bearish on the dollar. I also think that there is a lot of reason for people across the world to stop adopting the dollar, and I think that really weakens the case for it. And if the dollar gets weaker, our investments go up. They go up first because the dollar got weaker, and second because there is hype generated in the market out of speculation. Good question. I do look at the dollar, and I'm very interested in it. Saidul asking, am I blocked? No, you're not. I can read your comment. The dollar went down like 10%. Commodities tracked that Bitcoin was up 3 to 4 times that percent-wise. Poor correlation. So yeah, I mean, the dollar will drop by 10% and Bitcoin will exponentially go up because it's such a small asset. And so a small move in the dollar will really shake things up for Bitcoin. And the result of that is it triggers a lot of fear of missing out, because Bitcoin is subject to trigger fear of missing out, like a fear of missing out in a lot of people. It does that all the time. Probably did it for a lot of you guys watching this video right now, watching this live stream. Phil in the comments, smash those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you very much, guys. Let's get those likes smashed up, those subscriptions smashed up as well. Where are we at? Just past 64,100. We just passed 64,000 subscribers in this live stream, and we're already 150 above that. So thank you all very much. You guys are doing amazing. You guys are doing wonders, and you know I'm going to keep on giving you amazing content because you guys keep on showing me all the support. Do I trade the dollar? No, I don't. I don't know how to. I don't know how to. I don't have the means to do that, unfortunately, at the moment. I don't need to, because if the dollar goes down, my investments will go up. So there's no need to, really. This is the thing. I don't feel desperation to trade things. You know, like, I'll miss out on a lot of opportunities, and I'll never be upset about it because I know that there's so many out there. Plenty of fish in the sea. Same with trading. Have we got any more questions? I'm going to switch back to my core analysis for a minute. See what else I have to talk about that my analyst wanted me to highlight specifically. Ethereum in a very nice wedge right now. Let me talk to you about this wedge for a minute. Ethereum looking really good, actually. Let's use a different chart where I haven't drawn anything. Again, we'll use the Bitfinex chart. Ethereum's in a beautiful wedge right now. My goodness. Look at this. This kind of wedge is usually pretty bad in the market, and I'll tell you why. But when it happens in crypto, it's actually usually a pretty exciting thing. And what this wedge is essentially is Ethereum showing us that it pumped up massively. Look at this. It moved up really quickly, very far, and now it's still moving up, but it's moving up slowly, right? And so let me illustrate this for you very clearly now. Let's remove this. What we have here is a very steep gradient of attack, and now our gradient of attack is not as steep anymore, which is to say that previously there was a lot of momentum driving this market up, and now overall there's not so much momentum driving the market up, which is essentially like you've got a, let's say you've got a bomb. Shout out to the Biden administration putting more troops back in the Middle East, because not having stability in a region is profitable. And that was sarcasm, by the way. My God, I hate it. But you know, it's like a torpedo will launch up like this, and as it's in the air, it will gradually lose momentum, and then eventually it will crash down very quickly like this. And essentially, a pattern like this would put us somewhere around this area, probably somewhere around this area. That's what this shows us. And so this big move up, this very steep gradient of attack, is like, and this less steep connection issue, this less steep gradient of attack is like when the torpedo finally loses momentum and it's ready to crash downwards. That's what we're seeing with Ethereum right now in other markets. But crypto, what it usually translates to is this. We're trading up, we're supposed to start trading down or forming some sort of a continuation pattern. You know, we're trading up, supposed to do some sort of a continuation pattern and then trade up, or, you know, potentially even fight the trend, slowly trade downwards, form that classic staircase pattern that we see all over the internet. But there's so much hype in the market, and traders are so excited in this market that it just keeps inching higher, and then eventually there are so many buyers and it just gets overwhelming and it bursts to the upside. That's usually what it means in crypto. And so actually, to me, this looks really bullish. This looks really good. And it's important to understand this distinction, guys. I spent a lot of time explaining this because in other markets, this would be a pretty bad sign. In crypto, it's usually a pretty good sign. And you need to be aware of small things like this. And if you are aware of them, it makes it very easy to trade them. And I've used this quite a bit in order to trade in these markets, and it served me very, very well. So we've hit this level very nicely as support. We've hit this level very nicely as resistance. We're potentially on our way up again to set a new all-time high. Get a bit of a rejection potentially. I don't know. Maybe we'll break out of it at this point, because we have been trading in this pattern for a long time. How long has it been? It's been 20 days. It's about 3 weeks now. Pushing it, yeah, it's going to be 3 weeks as of tomorrow that we've been trading in this pattern, which is, yeah, a pretty long time to be consolidating. Just to put this into perspective, by the way, Bitcoin did the same thing. Let me show you how Bitcoin did this. And it did it recently. So this is proof that what I'm talking about is true. We did it very recently right here. Let me play this chart back. Classic rising wedge within an uptrend. Again, a sign that the gradient of attack in this market got weaker, but instead what it really means is that traders just couldn't stop buying Bitcoin out of excitement, and so it ends up popping to the upside. Usually this would be a sign of, look, momentum is very high, then momentum gets weaker, so it's probably going to crash. But no, that's not what happened to Bitcoin. In crypto, it usually bucks that trend and it just pumps right out. I mean, beautifully, absolutely beautifully. It just pumps right out above this area in a classic rising wedge. And this one, in case you're interested, lasted only 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. So we're at the 3-week mark for Ethereum. I think that's enough. That's 50% longer than what we had last time. I think that's definitely enough. Very, very important things to keep in mind. Okay, so back on the note of Tether, somebody asked me what I think about Tether and the authority, the problems with authority. RUPS saying FORFLIES, but this is the first time that Tether cannot print as before. It cannot print the same as before because now they're being investigated. Good point. This time always sounds different. It always seems like this particular time is the be-all end-all, is the scary thing. And I'll be honest with you, to the two people who, or one or two people who asked me about Tether, I am complacent about this now, because I've been seeing FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt around Tether for 4 years now since I started trading. It's nearly 4 years, and nothing has ever happened. So, and there were a lot of opportunities for things to go really, really bad, and nothing ever happened. So I am complacent about it, and I am dismissing these threats. I know that makes it really dangerous, and I know that puts me in a very bad position, but my dismissal of these threats in the past enabled me to stay active in the market and continuing to profit. A very good explanation or example friend who I love, one of my very, very good friends. Lost connection there for a second. I have a friend who I love. He's one of my very, very good friends who is a trader, but he's very concerned about bots. Let's blow up my my camera now so you can see me. He's very concerned, and has been for a long time, about bots taking over the market and not allowing you to trade, because it's just going to make it too difficult for humans to trade against bots. And he's been saying this for years, because I've known him for years. Shout out to you if you're watching this right now. I love you a lot. But I've said the same thing to him a few times, which is that he's been talking about how for years that bots could be making trading difficult for humans, which is absolutely correct. It's impossible to trade against bots as a human on a consistent basis, unless you're like a prodigy, but you know, you are not, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this live stream. And you know what his concern is that bots will continue to make it more and more difficult for traders to trade. And just like what happened in the poker industry, you know, like 10-15 years ago, it becomes impossible to compete. And so his approach has been one, he still is a trader, but his approach has been one of caution for a long time, because he's scared of bots making it impossible to trade. And that has meant he missed out on a lot of opportunities. And he's correct about his concerns. He has good reasons to believe that those concerns are real. And I even agree with him. I agree that we're going in that direction where it's getting harder because of bots. It's obvious, right? And you can see it on the charts. But The fact that I dismissed that threat has enabled me to continue to make hay while the sun is shining. You guys know that expression probably. It's where I'm continuing to exploit the opportunities in this market because I'm not worried about things like tether. And in the past, it served me very well. Eventually, this line of thinking will probably fail me because I'm complacent and I am dismissing a real threat. It's always been a real threat, and I'm still dismissing it to this day. So this will, and I fully know this, and I fully expect this will screw me over eventually. And so what's going to happen is because I exercise good risk management, I will end up going from a portfolio of, let's say, $100 to $500 because I've continued to take opportunities in the market, and now I've multiplied my portfolio by 5 times. And then there's going to be one specific time where I'm wrong, and I should have paid more attention to these threats, and I get fucked in the market, and I'm going to lose 20% of everything I have. So I'm going to go from $500 down to $400 because I have good risk management, and I'm not risking too much money. I'm not actually going to lose a lot. I'm only going to lose 20%. And from my starting balance, I'm still going to be up by 4 times. This is the approach I take in trading in very, very real terms, where I am okay to dismiss threats like this if it serves me right now, because I accept and I understand that eventually this strategy will not work, but by that point, I will have already made a lot of profits, and so even when I get screwed and I lose a lot of that money, I'm still going to be ahead of where I was at the beginning. And this is a really important thing to keep in mind as a trader and potentially even an investor. You know, the thing of, and VIPs see me do this beautifully all the time, where a lot of the time my analysis will not be 100% correct, right? Like this happens more often than you think. My analysis might not be 100% correct, and I might make the wrong trade at the wrong time, but because I'm exercising good risk management and I'm taking profits early, I can be on the wrong side of the market and still make a profit and still exit at break even. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot. More than you think. And this is one of the biggest reasons for why over the past couple of months I've had a very good success rate. It's because the positions I have that ended up being bad positions, I just exited them before they turned into a loss. And that's where risk management comes in. We talk about very real examples of being a trader. This is where it comes into. Again, to answer your question about Tether again, where you were asking me about, you know, well, this time is different with Tether. To bring it back to your question, I think you do have a good point, but I will continue to take the approach I've taken so far because it served me. And if I was worried about what you were talking about for a long time, I wouldn't have made the money that I've made in this market. And so it was definitely the right decision, in my opinion, to take this slightly more careless approach, because it enabled me to keep profiting in this very, very beautiful market. And eventually I will be wrong about it, but when that time comes and I lose money, I will still be far ahead of where I started. Very, very important concept. And to my friend, if you are watching this, I don't mean any offense when I brought you up, and I know that I didn't tell your story 100% accurately, but it was done to make a point. So that's why I'm not naming you right now, because it would be an unfair representation of your opinions. If what I've just said interests you about my trading style, and if you want to see exactly how I do trade, then you can join VIP by following these steps on screen. I see a lot of your messages right now, and my assistant has responded to every single one of you already. I think we just got a new testimonial for VIP as well, which is pretty cool. But let me go through some more of your questions. Have I talked about EOS yet? No, not for a long time. What is a good stop loss on Ethereum? I couldn't say, brother. FORFLIES, but this is the first time they cannot print. Okay, I've already read that. FORFLIES, answer the where did FORFLIES come from question every video. I do answer it quite a bit. Yeah, it does come up a lot because it's a stupid name. It's my fault. Let's see what else we have in the comments. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that little segment, by the way. Let me know if you do like it, because I Sometimes I do blow up my camera. I really spend some minutes talking about a key subject, and if you guys find that useful, I'll do more of it. If you don't, then I'll do less of it. But either way, I need to know. Why does everyone want to know about my tax residency? It's not important to you. Although, if you're so curious, I'm now a resident of Dubai, and I have been for many months, so I am not liable to tax in the UK. Although, if you want to make a similar move to me, you should talk to an accountant, someone qualified. Ghost asking why is there no super chat? Again, I forgot to do it. Just got that new testimonial today, by the way. Let me see if I can show this to you. This literally just came in. My assistant just sent it to me right now. I'm gonna respond to this guy personally right afterwards. But here is a message that one of our VIP members just sent in. Plus 55% profit. His first trade without any help. Traded this triple top pattern on Ethereum. This is what we talked about in the live stream as well. Very, very nice profit. Very, very nice. Plus 55%. Super, super good. And the next picture he sent. Oh, this isn't recent. This is from the 7th of January. Making his best trade to date. Learning lots from the academy. Very, very cool. Right there. Where is the recent one? I don't know. Cool testimonial though. I haven't shown you this this one so far. You can really see how this person went from nice profits down to losing money and then back up to massive, massive gains. This is very impressive. This person turning a good trade into a very good trade into a bad trade and then into an extremely good trade. Look at that trajectory. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Let's take it back to the market though. ETH breaking out. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Yeah, so just a small rise above this resistance level makes me look so good. I love that. I mentioned the bull flag on Ethereum earlier on in this live stream, so this shouldn't take any of us by surprise right now. And the key level I was looking at, by the way, was Ethereum potentially getting rejected around 1425. So this is pretty much right where it's at the all-time high before. Is potentially where I'm expecting Ethereum to find some resistance now. Yeah, small breakout on Ethereum. I think you guys are getting a little bit too excited about it in the comment section, but that's super normal because you guys might be a little bit more new to the market, and we all get excited over small stuff when we're new. But yeah, it's still looking good right now. My assistant's just heading offline right now because he's just texted me saying he's got a headache. So I'll be responding to you guys after the live stream is over if you do ask about VIP now. Do I have a target for Ethereum? So like I just said, kind of around 1425 is where I'd look at Ethereum topping out, which is the previous all-time high. I don't think Ethereum's going to set an all-time high soon, but like now. I could be wrong about it. I'm holding Ethereum, so if it does go up, I'll make more money. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think that that this is happening in a sort of empty market at the moment, and I don't anticipate that Ethereum will do that. Although right now it's got the perfect opportunity to rise up to its all-time high, because if Bitcoin did find support here, which it looks like it might have, I'm analyzing a very small time frame here. I mean, you know, I'm analyzing $500 of price movement, which right now is like less than 1%, right? Yeah, it's only 1% of price action. This is just a minor fluctuation, so I don't want to say too much about this because this can change really quickly. But if we did actually find support on 32 again, which, as I said, the more we do, the less likely I think we are to find support here. But if we do, and Bitcoin makes another move up to say 33,000, somewhere around here, and then gets rejected, when Bitcoin is going from here to here, Ethereum could break its all-time high. I think it has strength to do that right now. But broadly speaking, I'm still, you know, like like I said in the last live stream, I've moved closer to neutral territory with my analysis, but I still think it's quite possible that we're bearish. And I'm put it this way, I'm not bullish on the market. I'm just neutral or bearish. Guys, I'm going to start taking your final questions and then heading off. FORFLIES, love the risk management explanation. Thank you very much. I'm glad you did. Yeah, it's very important. And you know, the thing is, as a real trader, as somebody who is somebody who is a real trader in this market and trades very regularly, being aware of these things and having these things in mind is very important and useful for me. Right, guys, I'm gonna go through your final questions and head off. So let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to go through. What do you think about channels who consistently go on about how every coin ever is going to moon in another universe? Luke, if you constantly use clickbait and talk about things going up, your viewers will love you because you're telling them what they want to hear, and that is very profitable. It's you know, YouTubers can stand to make a lot of money from those kind of things, and it's the easy thing to do because you're not really going to be blamed if things go bad, and if things go well, you get a lot of the sunshine for it. So it's the easy route for a lot of YouTubers to do that, and it will make people love them, and it tells people what they want to hear. And if you give people what they want, you will get what you want as well, you know. And that's one of the things that this channel definitely doesn't do well. I don't give people what they want. You know, people want to hear good things about their investments, and I slap them in the face with the truth every video. So you know, what I think about them is I respect the hustle, and I respect them. I respect everybody. I think they're cool, but I don't think they're realistic. I don't think they're realistic. But broadly, I mean, this is why I don't talk about them. You know, like they're doing their own thing. I'm doing my own thing. We're all happy. We're all doing what we want to do. So, you know, why would I need to have an opinion beyond that? Beyond Powers, you're a great dude. Thank you very much. So are you. Thank you very much, guys. If we can smash up those likes one more time, get some more subscriptions on this channel. Where are we at with subscribers? We just passed 64,000 during this live stream. We've already passed 64,200. So amazing, amazing growth. Thank you all so much. Very, very cool. Crypto comes to mind. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch his stuff. I don't watch anyone. But the thing is, if they're right about it and their investments do go up, then more power to them, because then they've just done an amazing job. I don't have thoughts on Aave. A lot of people asking me about that. I don't really have thoughts on that. Bridget Jones, great stream once again. More Sammy, you're a true pro. Thank you very much, Bridget. Glad you liked it. Thank you for all the support. Just what you wanted to hear, Luke. I'm glad I delivered. That's a very funny way to to put it. FORFLIES, what's your analysis on the ADX indicator? Believe it or not, I don't know how to use that indicator. I've never learned it, so I can't comment. If you don't watch people, should we stop watching you? If you want to. If you gain value from watching this channel, then you can watch it. I don't gain value from watching other people because I have a very laser focus on what I do, and I discuss theories in the market very often with the team behind me, behind the FORFLIES brand. So I don't need to watch other people to get ideas. And actually, if I do watch other people, it will throw off my analysis. So the only person that I ever listen to these days is Tone Vase. And still at that, I only watch his videos maybe like 3 times a month or 2 times a month. So I'm usually not taking anything external. And I think that's one of the reasons I trade so well and the analysis has been so good. It's because I don't really take external thoughts into account, because it's not that it's detrimental per se, but I have a very particular focus, and by listening to other people, it would throw off my compass. It would make my compass less accurate. Phil, great stream as always. Thank you so much, mate. I'm glad you liked it. Very glad you liked it. No thoughts on EOS? Unfortunately not, man. I mean, let me take a look. EOS I used to trade quite a bit, so I just kind of fell out of love with it, but let's see what EOS is doing. Oh wow, this is a support level I drew a long time ago, isn't it? Fucking hell. Yeah. When did I draw this? Wow. This is funny. Well, I mean, yeah, look, it looks like one of those potential sleeping giants where it could just absolutely blow the hell up if we get another big alt season where these small coins just blow up out of speculation. It's at a floor right now. If it falls below this, I think it could just, you know, fall miserably down to like 50 cents or whatever, but right now, it absolutely... Have I thought about using lip gloss? Every woman in my life tells me to use lip gloss, but I hate it. I guess I will, but maybe after the live stream. I hate it. It's like it feels really weird. Sometimes they try to put the lip gloss on me without my consent. But yeah, potentially sitting at a floor right now and ready to bounce up very nicely. Thank you for your concern, by the way. You guys are amazing viewers. FORFLIES, one of the reasons I keep coming to you is that you not always say the same as others. Is that you don't always say the same as others, and I love to get different perspectives. Thanks, mate. Well, you're very, very welcome. Yeah, that's a big point for me. You know, and the reason I don't always say what others think is because I don't listen to them, so I don't have an opportunity to say the same things with them. Although a lot of the time I do meet up with YouTubers like like Chris, Crypto, like Carl the Moon, a couple others and things like that, and I do find that actually we have the same analysis, and that does happen quite often, and it's just because these are good traders at the end of the day. These are good analysts. These are good YouTubers, and so. You know, good, you know, great minds think alike kind of thing. That's me complimenting myself. Am I still buddies with Crypto Kirby? I love him, man. He's still, I don't watch him anymore. Very rare. Like, you know, I said I only watch Tone Vase. There are small occasions where I watch other YouTubers, and I still think his analysis is probably great. I just haven't watched it for a long time, and it's nothing to do with him at all. I still think he's an absolutely great analyst. He's there are very few people in my life that I respect more than Crypto Kirby. He is he's a real role model to me, and has been for years, because we've been friends for like 3 years, 3.5 years. He's inspired me so much. He's an amazing guy, and his analysis is really good. It's really good analysis. But like I said, I stopped watching it a long time ago because I needed to have a focus on what I do, and listening to other people threw it off. Tone Vase is heavily biased. Yeah, he is heavily biased, but you need to be as a trader. Again, if you're not biased, you will never trade. You know, bias is important. Bias is not a bad word. Bias is not taboo. I mean, it might be taboo, but it's important. You can't be a good trader if you're not biased, because you will never commit to anything. FORFLIES, how do you take profits or lock in profits? I got in at 11k. So I already answered this earlier in the video, but the way you would take profits, it depends on what you're talking about. If you just bought Bitcoin at spot, if you bought 1 Bitcoin and you wanted to close 10% of your position, then you would sell 0.1 BTC, and that would close 10% at, you know, you bought at 11k, that would close 10% at a 3 times gain, something like that, plus 200%. Good stream as always. Just subscribed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it. John Smith telling Beyond Powers to lock in profits. I think it's always a good idea to lock in profits. VIP see me doing it all the time. I always lock in profits just for the sake of it, just to keep my position safe. Just because it'll never make me poor if I lock in profits. It's always a good strategy. Very, very important. Colin, favorite stream to watch. Thank you. I'm really glad you like it, mate. I'll always give you the best content I possibly can. Mario, great analysis, Sammy. Thank you. You're very welcome, Mario. One final time, if we can smash up those likes, we'd greatly appreciate that. If you're interested in VIP, our members are killing it. A bad day for this guy looks like a $6,000 profit. He's already regained 25% of what he lost since he joined crypto. Since he joined VIP, he already regained 25% of everything he lost. And he sent me this message roughly a week after joining. So very, very early on into his VIP membership, making a big, big profit while recovering from coronavirus, showing me what that gain looks like. We exchanged a couple of voice messages. Really, really cool guy. Plus 110% from this guy, making a bunch of profitable trades in this past month. But this one being his biggest, very, very impressive. Plus 75%, plus 16%. Again, super, super impressive. This guy over here, plus 55%. I believe this was, yeah, this was just today as well. Super, super impressive. So if you want to see how these people have been able to pull these gains in this market, if you want to gain access to the same stuff that these guys had, a lot of these people are new to the game. They've had very, very bad habits when they joined. They've lost a lot of money. They've been stuck in very bad positions, but they join VIP and things really turn around for them. So if you want to see how they've been able to do that, if you want to gain access to the information on exactly what is offered, these steps from start to finish will take you less than 30 seconds. There's no sign-up process required. There's no download required. Just click on the first link in the description down below, click on the @FORFLIES button, and then click on send message to ask me how to join VIP. And I'll give you all the information about that. Once again, if you're looking for the place to trade, I have the links to it in the description. I use Phemex, Bybit, and PrimeXBT. I've got the links to all three of them in the description. And I always think it's a good idea to be diversified and have multiple accounts. And I've got tutorials on each of them as well. So Phemex and Bybit are the main ones. And if you type, for example, this into YouTube, you can watch my tutorial. I'm about to end the live stream, so you can open a new tab and watch my tutorial on it. And you can get into these exchanges. If you're in the US, you will need a VPN, and it's up to you on if you want to take that risk, obviously. Although everyone I know does take that risk, and that's on them. If we have any final questions, I'm going to go through them. And if you have any questions about these exchanges and things like that in particular, then you can just shoot me a message on Telegram and I'll answer it for you. But these are the exchanges I like to use, and you will get special bonuses like free money to trade with if you use the links in the description. Any final questions? Thanks for the good stream. Thank you for turning up. Thoughts on XLM? Unfortunately, no thoughts on Stellar Lumens. Been a long time since I've looked at that. Is Bitcoin creating a bear flag on the 15-minute chart? 15 minutes is a pretty small time frame, right? I don't know about that. Let's take a look. 15 minutes. Are you talking about this? Or are you talking about this? Because I think this is a bear flag. I think this is noise. Perhaps a rising wedge which might break down, but I don't know. It's too early to say. Greetings from Argentina. Hello to you. From Dubai. Can I look at the ETH chart? Already did. Go back to the start of this live stream and you can see my thoughts. Oh, we're up to 2 hours on this live stream now? Nice. That was effortless. That went by like 10 minutes. I bought in at 35k, 30k, and 31k. What should I do? No idea. No idea. You know what? It doesn't matter when you enter a position, unless you're trading on leverage. It doesn't matter, because if you're still bullish on Bitcoin right now, then hold it. If you don't think it's a good idea to hold it, then it doesn't matter where you entered. Where you entered is just a matter of pride. But what to actually do is, you know, like a very, very prominent trader, I forgot who it is, said that every morning he wakes up, he asks himself if he still agrees with the position he's in. And it doesn't matter where he entered, whether he entered and now he's at a loss, or he entered and now he's at plus 300% profit. The same question comes on repeat every single day at the start of every day. Does this person still want to be in this position? And that the answer to that question is independent of where he enters, unless he bought it on leverage. Because if you bought something on leverage, then you stand to get liquidated, which is a really big risk. And that's where things get a little bit more tricky, and those are the kind of questions I tackle inside of VIP. Do I ever use pivot points? No, I don't. Greetings from Portugal. I love Portugal. Greetings to you too. Trinidad, nice. Seems like a lot of YouTubers crypto YouTubers are in Dubai. Yeah, nearly all of them, it seems like. Yeah. Cool place to be. A very cool place to be. What's my vision of Bitcoin? Look, you guys want me to say Bitcoin's going to go to 100k, and technically speaking, I think it has the legs to do that, but I don't really care. It's just not something I talk about. It's not something that it's not a topic that I look at much. So if you want to, Mongolia, nice. Damn, I didn't know we had viewers from Mongolia. That's amazing. Where else are we from today, guys? Any other like really exotic places? Or Mongolia is not particularly exotic, but any other how do I say, less popular places? We've got Trinidad, we've got Mongolia. What else? Like, I guess Trinidad was obvious, but I did not expect Mongolia. Did I show the Ichimoku cloud? You joined late? Yes, I did, brother. Go back to the beginning. Perth, Australia. I want to go there with my dad. I've never been to Australia, and he loves it. And that's something I want to do while I've still got him. Phoenix, Arizona, Florida, Paris, Brazil, South Korea, Thailand. My God, this is... I'm a young guy, I'm 19, so I grew up with the internet and the possibility of speaking to all of from Oman. Nice. I'm gonna drive to Oman soon, inshallah. Let's see how that goes. I'm a young guy, I grew up with the internet, and speaking to all of you guys from all over the world is insane. Toronto, Netherlands, Ukraine. I want to go to Ukraine. Ukraine's gonna be cool. New Hampshire. I don't hear about New Hampshire often. Oakland, California. Oh my God. Yeah, California's the spot. New Jersey. Mexico, Monterrey. I haven't heard of Monterrey. Slovenia coming to Dubai as well. Come to Dubai, man. Slovenia is great. We've got someone in Antarctica? Really? I don't believe that. You're not on Antarctica, are you? New York City, India, Greece, Philippines. My God, that's so cool. Where in India? I still haven't been to India, believe it or not. And I'm half Indian, and I still haven't been there. I will go soon. It's best food on the planet. Vegas, hell yeah. Sicily. Want to go to Vegas. As soon as America opens up, I'm gonna be there. And I'm gonna tour the triangle of San Francisco to Vegas and LA. It's gonna be fun. We got someone on the moon. Clearly he joined VIP. Stockton, California. I haven't heard of Stockton. Sounds like it's somewhere near San Francisco. Bobby's from Londonistan. I know how you feel, man. And not even about the racism that noun communicates. Edgeware, nice. It's not even about that, man. London's just really gone downhill. Come Morocco, we give you tea. Brother, I'm gonna go to Morocco for the hashish. Forget about the tea. Deutschland? Did I say that correctly? New Delhi, nice. Nice, New Delhi is where my family's from as well, actually. Sicily, Silicon Valley, awesome, awesome. Guys, this is really, really cool. I love you all. I'm gonna get going. The other half, Indian, the other half is Pakistan. Moldova, nice. Moldova is one of those exotic places I was looking for. Again, it's not exotic, but it's just unusual. You don't hear of it often. I just want to see, is there anything else that's really, really like rare that you don't really see often? Moldova, you don't hear often. Moldova, I want to go to. Just want to drive through it once. I'll go with my. I got some friends in Romania who I would feel safe with if I went there. Probably go with them. Yeah, really, really cool. Right, guys, I'm gonna get going. Chicago. I will hopefully go to Chicago. I've got some very good friends in Chicago, Kimberly. Hopefully go there relatively soon. Nice. I'm gonna get going, guys. It's been a great live stream, and I hope I've all given you at least something interesting as an insight into the markets, into trading, into Chernobyl. I don't believe that. Into a bunch of things, and if any of those things have happened, please do like this video. Bali, nice. Bali's cool. And originally from Sentinelese. I don't believe that. No, no, you're not. If you have found the live stream useful, at all engaging, then please do like the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. As you can tell, I love traveling, and I love hearing where you guys are from. It's very exciting. Dad's Cuban, mum's from Iceland. Ice Cube. Iran, nice, nice. I did not complete my vision on Bitcoin. I don't have a vision on Bitcoin, man. What I was gonna say if I completed that that point was that I'm not the right person to ask about those things because I haven't done enough research, and most people who have an opinion haven't done enough research either. But I would prefer to be qualified to talk on that subject, and I'm not. So there are many other people on YouTube and things like that that are smarter than me and know more about these subjects than I do. And that, oh, Dale's from Birmingham. Sorry to hear, mate. Sorry to hear. There are many more people who know more about these things than I do, and I think it's important to listen to them instead of me. So that's why I don't really answer that. When I play GTA 5, what's your favorite car to drive? Funnily enough, I stopped playing GTA 5 when I got nice cars in real life, because that's more fun. But I would drive whatever the equivalent is of my Ferrari right now. I don't know what it is. It's just the regular like fast convertibles that they get. That's usually what I drive, I guess. Phil from Bristol / Somerset, but born in Holland. Nice one. Good combination. Very nice combination, actually. Smash those likes from Phil. I'm not from Singapore, no. Guys, I'm gonna get going. I could go on for hours talking about these things, but I know that once again you guys are not here for that. Nigeria as well, nice one. Okay, I've got to stop now. I know that you guys are not here for that, so once again I do hope you've enjoyed the analysis. If you have, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, tick the bell. If you want to find out what the deal is with VIP, then the steps are on screen. And I am going to get going now. Thank you all for your amazing comments. I'm sorry if you wanted me to read yours and I didn't. I know how that feels because I used to hate it. But there were quite a few. By the way, to the Texans, I will visit your land because I'm very, very interested, and I think you guys are doing an amazing job right now. Shout out to everyone from Texas right now watching this live stream. Just saw someone's from Dallas. All right, guys.